Well, hello, all my photogenic buns. Daisy here with you today again. Visible hands. So, you know what that means? Electronic doodads that I actually use my hands for and don't want to break or drop and be able to potentially press buttons. So, on our last episode, I talked about my first digital camera that I got in the like 2002 or 2003. I can't remember exactly when. Well, I had that for quite a while as my photo device. And it did a good job. But, well, I didn't buy a new digital camera every year just because there was another megapixel added onto the list or anything like that. So it took a while before I got my next digital camera. I didn't want to waste all my money on something that I felt like if I did, it was just going to be another thing I spent. So that little Fuji sat with me for ages until one day this little hip pouch joined my life. Ironically, flipping over the flip does not get you into the camera. It gets you into this other little compartmenty area, which is where I usually would store the extra SD card and some batteries. Once again, we're in double A land. Actually, with the setup I got, it did come with this nice hip bag, so I was able to easily carry it around at conventions and stuff. I don't remember what year I got this, but I've had it for a long time as far as I remember. And it's certainly an upgrade. This is my little Canon PowerShot, the A710 series. Ta-da! Oh, and here we go, here we go. Oh yeah, it spits out. Isn't that pretty cool? Oh, you go back in. Yeah, battery. I just put back, they're new batteries. This is literally batteries I just picked up. Okay. Where's it? Okay. There we go. Anyway, I ignored it. Whew. That's a nice viewfinder there. Anyway, this little critter was probably just a little more expensive than what I initially paid for the other camera that I'd have there. But time had passed, things had gotten better, and technology improved slightly. So, looking at this little critter starting from the front here, with the lens still closed. See, there's a physical viewfinder if you actually want to look through a port, a visible port. Some sensors. There's little microphone dots there because this also did do video. Way better than the last one. And this one had an advantage. This little diddly button there would release the cuff. And they actually sold adapters to add additional lenses and filters to it. Not much because of this is still just a small point and shoot object as opposed to, well, you know, a DSLR or something like that. And this went from my 2 megapixel originally to 7.1. Ooh. In other words, big files. This one actually had 6 times optical zoom. That lens that pops out there actually did something. Go figure. And we'll look at the bottom here real quick. Also had a nice tripod mount on there and the battery compartment. I'll just do that too because we're down here. It's got a little slider. I had to look down to make sure I'm hitting it. And then pops out. Let's see. Those would actually be the same 2 AA's from last video. I'm not wasting. I'm just reusing them. And there's the SD card and the little clock batteries, that little slidey thing that's right above the 2 batteries. So it's got one of those little button cell batteries, which I'm guessing was dead because it asked me to set the date and time when I turned it on. Nice. I don't think I'm replacing that anytime soon. And this one on the side here is a little more interesting. There's a little rubber cover, which to fidget with the pop open. There we go. That's so you can see it. It has a power cord hole, so you can plug it into the electrics. A mini USB, and this one did have the 3.5-inch jack that converted to video. So if you went and found the correct video cable that worked with this particular model of phone camera, you can plug that bad boy into the TV and do video out via RCA jacks. Top of this bad boy has got a little bit more going on than the previous one. So you got your power dot there. That feller makes it go zzzt. There's a good view of the lens going out. You have the dial with all of the choices, and I don't know what several of them are. Most of them are. I know what auto is. That's take pictures. And now the one that looks like a little video camera on the other side, that makes video. And then there are all the other things I didn't pick. There is some kind of microphone-y bit on the top. I'm not sure if that was related to the audio recording, if you're doing video or not. I thought that little dots on the front was the audio recording thing. And around the shutter button is a little toggly thing for the zoom. So it zoomed like a lot of normal cameras did at the time. So you could bust it on and go. Yeah, no, I don't care about the time and date. Go. Here we'll see if it'll play nicely. Unzoom. I honestly cannot tell how well this is coming because I'm looking at the glare of it and my monitor. But in any case, it does zoom in and out pretty darn good. There's a, it'll do the 6x of optical zoom, and then it will do digital zoom past that for a bit. All that really does is basically crops things out because, well, digital zoom is just, well, focus on the one piece of image. But I honestly don't think this is going to show up too well, but here's the screen. It's actually pretty nice. There's a lot of details on there. Little icons telling about the flash being in auto mode. The number of pictures left, currently 1068 at current resolution. But it was a really big display compared to, I'll bring him up from before, little polka dot display. This was a postage stamp. This was a big ass display. Postage stamp. Literally about the size of a postage. That display is, I think the stamps I get are slightly bigger than that. But yeah. Lots of buttons on the back too for navigating. It went sleepy. That's fine. Just go ahead and close the lens. So don't bump it. Display, menu, an arrow circle. Switching from taking pictures to just going through and cycling and looking at your pictures. It's nice to have it as a direct switch. Apparently it has a printer dock option. There's a lot of things this camera did that I absolutely never did with it. And until I got probably I'm trying to think of when I would have started actually using this. Stopped using this as my camera. Right around when I got the S8 Plus, I think was the first point when I felt like my phone camera was adequately better enough to switch to as my primary. Speaking of camera, there we go. Just cut my chin off. And after the last camera's cavalcade of uses of finding out how quickly I can burn through cheap batteries, this is the point in my life when I found out currently rechargeable batteries were a good deal, I thought. All right, so it took two AA's. AA rechargeable is actually one of the easiest to come by in my area. I don't know about what your country or your state or your whatever has as easily got, but here, at least the time I was using this camera, AA rechargeables were everywhere. You could get them at every one of the big label stores and even at Radio Shack, which still existed at the time. A couple of mine were from there. um, and they actually did last for quite a few shots, assuming they were charged. That's the problem with the rechargeable batteries. They didn't really just stay sat charged. Those nickel metal hybrid ones, yeah, if you charge them and just let them sit in your bag for a few days, they just kind of will discharge. So if you are going to a convention and you want to be able to use all your batteries, you better have just charged them the day before the con and hope that by the last day of the con, those the last set you're about to stick in your camera still have some amount of juice. And or bring your recharger block with you and charge them pretty much every night at the con. Kind of a hassle, but it did save me a lot of batteries, so I felt like I wasn't wasting, but in a sense, I was wasting energy because I'd be constantly charging the batteries and not being able to use the energy before it dissipated on its own. Now, as far as what I've done with this camera, if you look back at my FA at any fursuit photos that were taken in my apartment, that means that you'd see the bookshelves behind my fursuits. Those were probably taken with this camera. It actually is still decent. It does take good pictures. It had a really nice lens. 7 megapixels still is actually a really good photo. It's way bigger than you're going to need. So as long as the quality of the picture was good, everything's good. The only real problem, and this is like the super kicker, to use this, I have to have it with me. My cell phone's in my pocket all the time. It takes almost the same, if not better, pictures, and it's with me all the time. That's it. That's the only reason. This does take nice pictures. Currently has a 1 gig SD card in it. Fortunately, it's SD and not micro XD because you can buy those. I don't remember ever taking any real video that I cared about on this, so I can't tell you the quality on that. The fact that I had a really nice big display that was basically constantly ready for you when you were taking photos, that was awesome. I know it had the same cuff that SwiftFox had on his camera. This was like one generation newer than his point and shoot at the time. His wife had DSLR and still has a DSLR, but he would carry around one almost like this one. No, that's not why I bought it, but I found it interesting, and he did actually have some of uh, the the cup attachment, so you can actually use the add-on lens section, and he had some of the night filters for doing astronomy photography. So that's an option this kind of critter was capable of. I didn't do that. I didn't even ever try borrowing his cuff. I never got around to anything like that. But it was a big step up, and I felt like my photo quality went through the roof once I got this critter. It's gone to quite a few cons. It's taken a lot of pictures. I'm sad to say it doesn't get to do anything at the moment because, well, cell phone does everything else. And again, it's a thing you'd actually have to carry around. So that was my Canon. I loved it. Oh yeah, it had other attachments. You can get like a bigger flash and some other things too. It really had a lot of doodads. Thank you, Ken, for actually caring about your products. I don't remember how it was supposed to mount. I think it mounted through the physically mounted on the tripod jack and then snapped onto the sat on the side, took its own couple of batteries, and communicated somehow with the cat. It was one of those. I don't know how it worked. I don't care how it worked. Apparently they worked. I didn't know even they had that. But it was a thing. It had a good enough flash, honestly, so I was never really concerned. In fact, that's the only reason I never got any of the better lens equipment because, well, it actually took good pictures. So yeah, this little feller lasted me a lot of years. Still a good boy. Still a good boy. Still my best point and shoot camera, but not the last one that I purchased. Ooh. Spoiler alert for the next video. But anyway, thank you for spending some time with me and looking at this camera, and there will be at least one more of these. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little dingly bell for the little dingly bell, let you know I post new videos. And of course, both my Patreon link and Coffee link are in the description box below, both of which are good ways to help support me and my channel and help me make better videos for you, my fluffy public. I'll add into that $1 queue if you want to ask me to talk about a specific electronic device of mine from my history. I will add that in as an option for the dollar people. So yeah, that you can use that as your dollar option instead of a fursuit and an outfit. It's up to you. Up to you. I'm going to do my best to do a lot of these because this seems fun to me. It's a story time, plus getting to look at a physical, nifty object in my life. Anyway, thank you for spending some time with me. I hope all your pictures are clear, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. But for now, Daisy thinks you're awesome. It's super photogenic.